I'm back today with a review on two books. The first two from the Fallen series, which is Fallen and Torment. Actually, I was kind of disappointed by the series. I had really high hopes for it because the cover and the theme and everything just kind of reminds me of Hush Hush, and I really enjoyed Hush Hush and all the books in the series. So I don't know, I found that the Fallen series was pretty predictable, and if you've read any of the books, you would know what I mean. So it starts off with Fallen. It's about a 17-year-old girl named Luce. She is being sent to a reform school called Sword and Cross because she was accused of murdering, or she was responsible for the death of this teenager named Trevor. She was with him last when he went up in flames, and I still don't really understand what happened to him. They didn't really talk about that, but basically she was getting a lot of hate mail and threats from people in her hometown and her school, so her parents found that it was best for her to be just sent away. It was best for her safety and well-being. So, interesting characters at Sword and Cross. She meets Ariana, or Ariane, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. They bond almost immediately, and she also meets Gabby, and then Molly, who's a bully, just kind of torments her from the beginning, and Roland, did I say Roland? And of course Cam and Daniel, two gorgeous boys that she is kind of torn between. She's attracted to both of them immediately, and Cam he shows affection and he's interested in her right away, and he kind of made her feel more welcome at the school because she was new and she felt like an outsider, and Cam invited her to events and he wanted to be around her. But Daniel, the other handsome boy, he's like very distant. He takes a lot of effort to avoid her, and when they do have their brief encounters, he's very hostile toward her. The moment he saw her, he smiled and then gave her the finger. But there's a reason for that, and of course it wouldn't be a young adult fantasy novel without a love triangle. There isn't a whole lot that went on in this novel, in this first book. It's quite a long book for so little to have happened. I mean, it's not really a long book per se. I think it's about 450 pages. Just kidding. But it doesn't look very long. But not a lot happened. Luce gets transferred to this new school. She's having the new girl syndrome where she doesn't fit in anywhere. She meets some interesting people. There's a love triangle, and that was basically it. I felt like the plot didn't move along fast enough. There was a lot of fluff, and the author, I guess it's just not really the kind of style I'm used to reading. I really appreciate imagery, and when an author really knows how to draw in the reader as though you're a part of the book, you're one of the characters. I didn't feel like Lauren Kate was able to show rather than tell. I think her best scenes were when she was describing the way the announcers looked. Any scene with the announcers, or the shadows as Luce would call them. She grew up with these shadows lurking around every corner, and she felt like she was cursed or crazy. There was a lot of vivid description, what the shadows looked like, the way they moved, even the way they felt. So I thought that was excellent. I think the author could have been more consistent with being descriptive and being able to show. Again, it's kind of hard to do that when a book is written in third person. Other than that, I wasn't too impressed with the way it was written, and the plot, kind of typical. The next book, book number 2, which is Torment. So this book picks up right where the first book left off. Luce finds out more about her friends now. She knows now that Ariana, Gabby, Cam, and Daniel, and Molly, and Roland, they're all fallen angel. Basically, Luz is being relocated. She had to leave Sword and Cross. It was no longer safe for her. She had to continue to lie to her parents that she was still at Sword and Cross because she couldn't very well tell them, hey, I'm now friends with some fallen angels and my life is in danger. So Daniel actually enrolls her into a new school at Shoreline where she is surrounded by some mortal people, some fallen angels, and Nephilim, half human, half angel, half fallen angel. Anyway, so that's where she has to sort of get a new start away from everything that happened at Sword and Cross. So now she knows a little bit more about what's going on, that there's some huge battle coming, but her friends have not been able to tell her what's really going on, and it's really for her own protection. Being surrounded by Nephilim and other angels, it kind of makes it more difficult for the outcasts, their enemies, to track where Luz is. So that love triangle theme is getting kind of old. We know that Daniel and Luz are star-crossed lovers and they're meant to be together, but you know, it would have been fine if they kept that love triangle going a little longer between Daniel, Luz, and Cam. However, now that Cam has backed off, they brought Miles into the mix, and Miles is a Nephil, barely any angel blood in him. He's what they call diluted because he's so much more human than angel. Anyway, he shows some interest in Luz, and you know, feelings get involved, feelings get hurt, there's confusion. It just seemed like a very typical kind of chick flick novel rather than a fantasy. So I mean, come on, it went from a love triangle to an awkward love square. I don't know, I just felt like, yeah, it was necessary to have Miles' character in there because he was such a vital character in getting the girls around, and he knew about how to handle, I guess, travel through the announcers, but I guess the love triangle was not necessary. It just kind of added some irrelevant chaos. And so I did find myself enjoying the second book a lot more than the first one. We know more about the characters now. We know a little bit more about Luz, and she's learning about who she is, although she still doesn't have all the answers. I liked Daniel's character a lot more in the first book. In the second book, he seems really possessive and controlling. I mean, yes, he goes through great lengths to protect Luz, and while she seems kind of unappreciative of his protection, the way he talks to her, he forbids her to step foot outside of Shoreline, and I mean, I guess they were both kind of annoying. I could understand both sides, though. He's really trying to just keep her safe. He doesn't want to lose her again, and at the same time, Luz is feeling overwhelmed. She doesn't have any answers. No one's telling her anything, and so she's trying to seek answers for herself. I think any teenager or anybody would do the same. If you feel like there's a huge chunk of your life that's missing and you don't understand what's going on, you want to find out. But it was just kind of annoying the way Daniel interacted with her. I think my favorite part of the story was when Ariane comes back and she kicks some butt and rescues Luz and her friends when they needed her. I didn't see that coming. I was kind of sad that, you know, all throughout this book she's not here and Gabby's not here, and I just wanted to read more about them, and so she just kind of unexpectedly finds Luz, and I mean, it was very convenient, and I think Ariane is my favorite character. She's just very strong and fierce. I usually do videos on books if I really like them or if I really don't like them. I kind of don't have a strong opinion either way about these books because I feel like they have really great moments and there are moments that are not so great. So I don't know. If anyone requests a video for the last two books, I'll do it for sure. Otherwise, I'm not sure if I'll do it. Right now I'm reading the Embrace series by Jessica Shirvington, and I'm really digging it. I do like it a lot. It kind of reminds me of Hush Hush, and I don't know. It's exciting. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Bye.